Hi everybody, day 40 of Shelter, our last day together in this series of videos, and I thought it quite appropriate to pull everything together for you today in the best way that I know how. And if we look at all the aspects that we've covered over the last 40 days, we've looked at a lot of you becoming more self-aware. We've looked at aspects of self-management, and we've said that you need to become aware before you can manage. Now today we're shifting gears and we're going into self-direction. So we're looking at the why it is that we do what we do. And if we just look at the authentic model, the what is who we are, the feeling part, recognizing our patterns. The how is how our intentionality around how and what choices we have for the outcome that we're looking for. And there we go into our cognitive ability to be able to make good choices for our lives. And then we move into self-direction, which is why it is that we do what we do. And of course, the beautiful subject of purpose comes in here. And I love to talk about authenticity and purpose because I think that the two come hand, and they work together hand in glove. So I want to give you a little bit of structure in terms of where my thinking is, and also to just have a look at where you are. Where are you right now? What are your thoughts? And hopefully just to intrigue you with going a little bit deeper as to who you are and what your purpose in this world is. So if we look at the two parts of who we are, we've got the doing part of who we are, and we've got the being part of who we are. Now, the doing part is a skill set that has actually been honed since we were kids. We've been taught to do all our lives. And for many of us, that is exactly what we do. We tick the boxes, we get the job done, we're very task orientated, and we know what our skills, our strengths, our abilities, our talents, and we've certainly got life experience on our side. The part that we seldom spend time on is the being part of who we are. And this is where the magic comes alive, because this is where your authenticity lies. This is where your who am I comes alive. This is your identity, your character, and your values. And we really believe that bringing these two together is where purpose really hits home. And I often look at it as you know, an aeroplane. An aeroplane can't fly without the balance of having both wings, you know, keeping it upright in balance. So we can't develop the one without the other. So we need both parts. And very often you will find that, especially if we're these big doers, we find that we put our identity in what we do, not who we are. So when we get retrenched, we lose our jobs, we tend to have a serious wobbly. Why? Because we're no longer valuable. You know, we're nothing, we're useless, we're powerless. And that's not necessarily true, because who we are is actually the foundation of everything that we do. Now, if we start to pull that together and we start to talk about purpose, there's another aspect that I'd love you to become very aware of. I know the board is not very, very clear, but I hope that you'll be able to see this. So I love to look at these four aspects of life when I think about purpose, a noble goal, what gets you out of bed in the morning. And I want you to think about your whole life today. So your design will be the who am I. So in other words, this is that internal place. This is who I am. So it's looking inward to know who I am, what my personality style is, what my values are, what moves me in the world, all of the things that make me who I am, okay? Then we look backward. And we look at what life has prepared us for, because our life preparation has put so much in us in the form of gifts. And very often in our place of challenge and trauma, we will find the gift that has actually been born within us. So don't underestimate that. Then we've got passion, and passion is that forward-moving motivation. It's that passion to do something that ignites everything inside of us. That's that sort of intrinsic motivation place of, when I do this, I can get myself lost in the world. It's just, I'm passionate to transform lives, life, and leadership. And then we've got what we say is placed upon us. And this is almost, it might be a strange word for some of you. We call it a calling. So it's something that is placed upon your life. And it has immense repercussions for the rest of the world, because that's actually what is overarchingly kicking your life purpose into being. And if you look at the central place, you'll notice that all four of these pulled together actually bring about life purpose. So when we look at life purpose, you know, it's almost seen as a sort of a bit of a guide for us in terms of our actions and bringing all parts of our life together. And it's allowing us to actually test our decisions, our actions in line with where we want to be, who we are, all of those things. So when we talk about pursuing a noble goal and bringing our what, why, and how together, and of course we know the power. If any of you have watched Simon Sinek's work, you know that we need to know why it is that you do what you do. That is the absolute key. They say it's the golden circle, you know, starting with your why, then looking at how you do that and what you do, rather than the opposite way around. And it just ignites and solidifies everything in such a beautiful way. So there's some specific characteristics that are defining for a noble goal, for a life purpose. And I want you just to be thinking about these things today. And the first one is something that you can do today. In other words, it's a skill set that you already have. You've already been designed. You've got everything you need to step out and make a difference in this world. What is that? What makes your world come alive? The second one is that it's integrated into your work, your personal life, and your spiritual life. What do I mean by that? It's integrated. In other words, you don't only live it when you're at work. It starts to integrate every single part of your life because it's who you are. Whether you're having a braai with a friend, it's stuff that you get involved with. You talk about it. Why? Because it comes from within. It's something that just bubbles from within. It's a passion that extends itself. It's always outward focused. Okay, so outward focused is that, yes, as much as you're going to benefit from whatever it is that you're doing, because I'm sure that there's going to be a monetary attachment to the value that you place on your work, and that's where you get the bonus. But it's always with a focus on others. Transcendent is you know, getting engaged and working with aspects that make a difference in other people's lives. And we know that when we make a difference in other people's lives, it just, it just makes our hearts soar. It takes us to another level within where we are. The next one is that it's long-term. It is not complete in your lifetime. In other words, it's got a legacy attached to it. It's something that carries on when you are no longer here. I hope and pray that every life or individual or team or family or organization that I've walked with will take the differences, the shifts, the transformation, that work that we've done in this space, and it will make a difference with every single life. Every aspect of what it is that they touch will be changed because of who they are. And then we look at, obviously, the motivation. We've spoken about passion and the fact that it needs to be motivating and compelling for you. It does need to be positive in terms of building others up. That could probably tie in with the others. And it gets you out of bed in the morning. I cannot tell you how many people I speak to that one of the key factors to depression, and hear me now, I know that there is chemical depression, but one of the key aspects that I have picked up in my coaching space around depression is a lack of purpose. So I want you to think about that if you're battling today and you don't want to get out of bed and you want to lie around and hope tomorrow never comes. Please focus your attention on purpose. What is your gift to this world? What could you do differently that is going to ignite yours and other people's worlds. And there's this quote by Howard Thurman. He says, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go and do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And I don't know about you, but it's almost like there's a time such as this in this space in our lives right now, where we are called to stand up and be courageous and know who we are and step into authentic leadership and be the people, the authentic leaders that we are called to be. So I hope that these 40 days have been an incredible blessing to you. They certainly have to me. I have grown in leaps and bounds in terms of not being afraid of standing in front of this video. And I've really enjoyed my time with you. I've enjoyed the interaction with each one of you that have made personal contact. I've had calls from San Diego, from Toronto. I have had so many calls from around the world, asking various questions to bring a bit more depth. And if there's anything that has piqued your attention, any way that we can support you in really knowing yourself well, making really good choices in your life and finding direction, by now I'm sure that you know where to find us. And I'm sure that we will continue to release videos maybe once a week. If you would like to get yourself onto our mailing list, please do. Please pop your email into the chat, and we will make sure that you get onto that so you're aware of any of our free webinars coming up or any of our workshops. If there's anything that has interested you, remember that what you've heard is just the tip of the iceberg. The work that we do in that space is really taking it to a deeper level to make it practical for yourself. So I hope that I'll see you one day in a Zoom room, and if not, across a telephone call. Stay well. See you.